Y'all know who I am. You know my name by now. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm in no mood this evening. It's honestly, truthfully, been a very shitty day. I don't want to talk about it. And on top of that, the Philadelphia 76ers yesterday, just a disgraceful performance. Y'all see the title of the video. I'm forewarning you. I'm in no mood. If I see any funny, weird, ignorant comment, you're just going to be blocked. Plain and simple. Okay, this is just me venting about the 76ers. You know, feel free to leave your thoughts, how you feel about the Sixers, but it has to be said, needs to be talked about. So I hope y'all are ready for it because I'm telling you right now, it will get hot. If you can't take the heat, get out the damn kitchen.
Cleared out for him. Backing his way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gives it up. Backing his way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gallinari gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And a foul as Thibault goes to the basket. Boy, Simmons, uncontested, had a layup, but he leaves it for Thibault. Who makes something out of it and is headed to the line.
Well, but that's when you know that the game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there.
Gallinari gives it up. Oh, spins on backing his way in. Spins on Gallinari, gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And
listen to them.
cleared out.
What is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Spins on Gallinari, gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And a foul as Thibault goes to.
The first thing that comes to your mind, please tell me. This is a guy that's practically 7 feet tall. He passes up a dunk because he was afraid Gallinari was going to foul him. So what?
To the basket. Boy,
look at the body language.
Oh, he was right there. Spins on Gallinari, gives it up. Oh, he was right there.
Look at the body language of Seth Curry.
Gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And
listen to the crowd and Joel Embiid. Look at the body language. Just disgusting. Good evening, YouTube. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are staying safe from these storms out here. Last night, the Philadelphia 76ers choked. They should be ashamed of themselves. We can go down the list. We could start with Ben Simmons. We can Tobias Harris, Doc Rivers. There's so many fingers to point. Let me just start with this one. Elton Brand couldn't find a better GM than Daryl Morey. First and foremost, I'm surprised the NBA didn't exonerate him for his comments he made about what was going on in China. Number two, Doc Rivers. Listen, I respect Doc Rivers and what he has done for the game. But the only reason why Doc Rivers' name will still be out there because he's a champion. Let me ask you a question. What has Doc Rivers done for us, done for me lately? During his time with the Clippers, he couldn't get to the Western Conference Finals. He had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, Matt Barnes. List could go on and on. Could get it done. You know, it really says something when one of your assistants and Ty Lue, who deserves some credit for getting the Clippers to their first Western Conference Finals appearance since their existence. Here you are. You lost Game 7. Doc Rivers, couple things that you messed up on. It's a Game 7. Why did you have 10 players out there? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the box score. Let's look at it. Because if you looked at the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets, that was a heavyweight fight. It was a heavyweight fight. They played for 53 damn minutes. And not one time, even though Giannis came out for a couple breaths. I know Pat Connaughton played. But to sit there and have 10 guys playing, first and foremost, you made the mistake. I'm telling you the mistake you made. Was you should have been starting Thibault when Danny Green went down. You should have started him because he's really the only one who really gave you effort. Maybe outside of Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was playing on one damn leg. Furkan, why was he out there? 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Tobias Harris, you're part of this big three with Joel Embiid. You had an ugly 24 points. An ugly 24. 8 of 24 from the field, and 2 of 7 from the 3. You had a double-double. That's nice, but you really were not. Where were you? Where were you this really whole series? You should be at best being consistent. 8 of 24. That was horrible. He couldn't even. There was a possession where Ben once again gave the ball up to him, and he missed a layup. He couldn't make a bunny. You had Dwight Howard out there who doesn't fit this series at all. There are just some players that can't match up with others in this series. Those guys are not going to play. Shake Milton, you had him in there in the fourth quarter. Tyrese Maxey, they're wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. They're babies. You failed to make the adjustment. You had Seth Curry guarding a 6'7" shooter coming out of Maryland. Shout out to the University of Maryland, Kevin Herter. Seth Curry had a great series, but mix it up. You had George Hill guarding Danilo Gallinari to the point where he even figured out that this is a great matchup for me. We spent all our time talking about Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. These other guys, they're getting checks too. George Hill's got to give me more than 3 damn points. From what I saw when they played us, the Wizards, they seem to have it all. They seem to have the answer. Because one, they're playing against a smaller team and one of the worst defensive teams in the league. But here it is against Atlanta, who, besides us, are also the worst defensive team in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Kevin Huerter is the reason why the Atlanta Hawks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. I give the Milwaukee Bucks credit where credit is due. I didn't have them representing us in the East like last year with the Nuggets when they beat the Los Angeles Clippers. Everybody had picked the Clippers to win the series. Nobody picked the Nuggets. Bogdanovich couldn't get his shoulder up. Trae Young had a bad game. 5 of 23 from the field, 2-11 from 3. He hit a couple clutch buckets, including that one where I believe it was 33 feet from deep. And who was guarding him? Ben Simmons. Yo, man, we make so many excuses for this crappy basketball, and we pay these guys based on what? And if y'all stay with me, I'm going to get to Ben Simmons in a minute. But the way the Philadelphia 76ers, they should have took care of business in Game 5. And they didn't do it. But the fact that to get swept in the bubble by the Celtics is one thing. But to lose 3 home games. 3 home games. And on top of that, you blew an 18-point lead and then a 26-point lead. You came into Game 7 flat out weak. It is just disgusting. As y'all see the title of this video, 8 years later, same old, just a different year. Joel Embiid, listen, he was second in MVP voting. He stepped up when it mattered, and I respect that. Joel Embiid played his heart out, even though he took 11 shots, 50% from the field. There's a couple instances, bro, you're not a guard. You had Clint Capella on you, who's a great defender, but take advantage of that mismatch. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, you were the number 1 overall pick. Come out of LSU. And don't get me, he averaged 19 points a game at LSU. He was only played there for 1 year. Bro, we keep saying it. When are you going to learn how to shoot the damn ball? When are you going to learn? We're going into now, this is what, year 6. I mean, next year will be 6 years for him. We're going into years now. And in every year, we're sitting here and we're given this false hope that Ben Simmons has shot the ball. Oh, he's been working on his jump shot. He's been working on. I haven't seen it. Let me put on a stat for y'all. In the fourth quarter, he's taken 3 shots, in the fourth quarter alone. Game 1, he took 2 shots, and I believe it was game 4 or 5, he only took 1. In the fourth quarter. If you look, we can look at the box score again, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Simmons didn't even average double figures. Let's see. I want to go back all the way to game 1. I wish it would show me. I'm sorry, this is the first round. Okay, so they played Monday, or was it Sunday? Okay, game 1, Ben Simmons. Let's look at this box score. Ben Simmons, okay, 17 points, he had a double-double. Okay, that's great. Let's go back. Tuesday. Now remember, Atlanta won that game because of, again, silly mistakes. Philadelphia came back and handled business. They won that game, game 2. Ben Simmons, where you at? 4 points. Actually, let me go back. Two or three from the field. Didn't take a shot, a 3. Then they played that Friday. $18 points. 7 of 11 from the field. 50% from the free throw line, 4 of 8. That was game 3. Game 4. Hawks won because of what? Again, silly mistakes. Ben Simmons, 11 points. 1 of 5 from the free throw line. 50% from the field. We're going to keep going. Well, game 5. This is where they lost the series, in my opinion. Because of silly fouls and turning the ball over. Tobias Harris, Furkan, Thibault, Shake Milton, George Hill, nowhere to be found. Ben Simmons, 8 points. Philadelphia, Friday, was a great game. They handled their business. But Joel Embiid, see again, Tobias Harris stepped up when it counted the most, and Joel Embiid and Seth Curry. But Ben Simmons, 6 points, 2 of 6 from the field, and 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Then it really started hurting when they started to hack up Ben, because he's not a great foul shooter. And then obviously last night, they laid an egg at home. Ben Simmons, 5 points. So in a 7-game series, he's only averaged double figures in 2 games. When do we start saying, you know what? Maybe this is not the guy we thought he would be. I've told you guys in numerous videos that a lot of these guys, when they come in these leagues, there's a lot of lack. And he came into this league without a jump shot. I have not seen him shoot the ball. He's not a great free throw shooter. I haven't seen that. I blame, this is where Doc Rivers gets a pass because Doc Rivers knew what he was coming into. And I believe Doc Rivers threw him under the bus when he came out and said, I don't know if he's the point guard for a championship team. He's not a point guard, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, you need to put him at his natural position, which is a power, either at the 4, a power forward, or let him play the 5. Because he's shown you that he cannot lead you as a point guard. He hasn't shown you. Because why? He can't shoot the ball. At this point, we know it's now mental. But I blame the Sixers organization. I blame Brett Brown. I blame Sam Hinkie. But I blame also, too, Elton Brand. Because when you came in on this role, Elton Brand, who's an all-star, I blame the coaching staff and scouts for not really showing the true colors of what he is. Ben Simmons, at best, is just a good player. This is what separates good players from great players. To be a great shooter, I said it in yesterday's podcast episode number 4. Check that out if you haven't already. To be a great player, you got to learn how to shoot the ball. You ain't got to be Steph or Seth Curry. You ain't got to be the Curry brothers. You ain't got to be Reggie Miller, Larry Bird. You ain't got to be Steve Kerr. Shoot the ball. We're not asking you to be average 30 a game, but you're the second best player on this team. When Joel goes on the bench, or when they bring the second squad in there, that's when you should be leading them, Ben. I mean, how much more do y'all need evidence to just come to the conclusion, well, Ben Simmons it is what it is. He is what he is at this point. When are y'all gonna come to the realization of that? I came to the realization last year and the year before. Really, when he came out of LSU. And unfortunately, when I look back at his draft class, which was the most draft that had international players, half that class is no one stands out. Besides, if I'm saying this right, Sabonis. Sabonis was in that draft. But y'all know, but there's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown were the next 2 picks. You had Jamal Murray, Buddy Hield, Sabonis, Kalis LeVert, Malik Beasley, Pascal Siakam, Brogdon. You had a couple good little decent players in this draft. But like I said, as I've told you guys, and again, these guys lack a lot of skill. They lack. You can be this great ball handler. You can be this great rebounder, defender. You can be all that. It's cute. You can do all those things. But when it counts the most, and it particularly, that should tell you something, Ben, when you're sat down the last 5 minutes of the game. That you know what? I have to play better. Let's look at Ben Simmons' post-game interview.
Hey, Ben. What went wrong for you guys tonight? You know, what kind of played into you guys struggling there to close the game out?
I think that we slowed down the pace. We ain't moved the ball enough, and we ain't getting enough stops.
Thank you.
Chris Franklin.
Hey, Ben, toward the end of the game, there were a few chants that were going out there asking trade Ben Simmons, stuff like that. Do you feel like you played your last few minutes here in Philadelphia?
I feel like we just lost game 7. That's about it.
Right. Would you like us to remain in Philadelphia?
Pardon?
Would you like to remain in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, I love being in Philly. You know, I love this organization. The fans are great people. I mean, I had a bad series. I expect that. It's Philly.
Thank
you. Next, we'll go to Marcus Hayes.
Ben, Doc said that there's work to do, and he and you need to get into the gym. What do you think the work is that needs to be done, and I guess prioritized? Is it free throw shooting? Is it being more aggressive? Is it perimeter shooting? What is it in your game that you think you need to improve first?
I think all of it. You hit on all of it. I ain't shoot well from the line this series. Offensively, I wasn't there. I ain't doing enough for my teammates. But there's a lot. There's a lot of things I need to work on.
You gave up a dunk opportunity, and I don't know if you answered this earlier, but you gave up a dunk opportunity right there. And I know you're a pass-first guy, but you're also 6'10" and 240. Is there something going on in your head where you just feel like you can't shoot at some times?
Nah, I just assumed Gallo was coming over my back, and then Collins moved out, and so I thought we just had a wide open dunk.
Thank you.
Dave McMenamin.
Ben, as a team, you guys have been hovering around contender status for several years now. The way the playoffs broke with some of the other favorites already being eliminated leading up to tonight, is there any sense of, man, we might have blown an opportunity to do something pretty big here?
I mean, yeah, definitely. It's game 7. We didn't get past this round, so obviously, it hurts.
Next, we'll go to D-Lineham.
Ben, I'm just curious because obviously we can look at who you are in a regular season and see, what gets you all-star and defensive player of the year, but postseason numbers look different. So what happens in the postseason that does not allow you to be the same player that helps you get your team to earning a top seed in the Eastern Conference?
I mean, I feel like I found my guys tonight, which I do in the regular season regardless. With the trade, I think.
He was terrible. 5 for 23.
Yeah, he had a tough night. Offensively, I probably didn't do enough. There's a lot of things. You gotta go back and watch the game, but there's a lot of.
Okay, you know what? I'm not going to play the rest of that because he's going to make me mad. He already pissed me off. He's pissed me off this whole series. Last year, I mean, I understand he was injured, but this series, it should not take you 7 damn games to realize, you know what? I got to play better. It should not take you 7 games to realize that. And we can all say, well, it comes from aggression, all that other stuff. But we've been talking about this for now 5, particularly these last 3-4 years now. When are you going to learn to shoot the ball? What is it going to take? And I don't want to hear, well, if you just trade them, that'll make the situation better. No, it makes it worse because why? You're not trying to fix the problem. It can be fixed. Sit him down with Joel, Doc, Elton Brand, Southern, and say, listen, dude, you're getting paid $146.9 million for the next 4 years. Sit him down with a sports psychiatrist and figure out what's going on. Because I ain't gonna lie, behind this mask, and I've seen them with masks and hoods, I mean, hiding behind a mask can say so much about a person. But at this point, it's all mental. The Sixers got to figure it out. They got to sit this kid down, and they got to figure out what's going on. Because I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I'm not that great of a basketball player, but my ass would have dunked that ball. Had with who was this Gallinari on me, I'd have dunked that. That was a dunk. Poor basketball IQ from a guy who's this great, again, the great dish maker, alley-oops, all that. When is it, Tony? When are we going to start saying, yo, guy, it's time for you to step up? It's time for you to grow up. It's time. We shouldn't keep, at this point in a guy's career, he's too great, y'all. He's too great of a player to be performing like this. I mean, Lord have mercy. What's it going to take? And then all these suggestions of trade him to Portland, trade him to Washington. Why would I trade him to Washington for Russell Westbrook when Russell Westbrook can't shoot the damn ball consistently? CJ McCollum, trade him to Portland. That doesn't take away the fact that, you know what? We got to work with this kid. The same thing they did with Markelle Fultz. All these things can be simple fixes. You have to work with people. This is where coaching matters. This is where leadership matters. All that matter. Rich Paul, they got to sit down and they got to talk to this kid. Yo, man, what's the problem? Do you not want to be in Philadelphia? Because, listen, Philadelphia, New York, LA, these are sport towns. These are sport towns, particularly New York and Philadelphia. You don't play well, you get roasted. You get roasted. Me personally, going into Game 7, this team's whole confidence was shook. When you see Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, Pat Riley when he was coaching the Heat and the Knicks and the Lakers, KC Jones, even Bill Russell back in the day, but when he was coaching the Celtics, you saw these guys, you didn't see panic. You saw them just sitting back. Because why? Because they instilled confidence in their guys when it counted the most. Doc Rivers, when he's all out his chair, they see that. The players see that and go, damn, my coach don't have faith in us. The Sixers got to get together, man. They had to get it together. No more excuses. I don't want to see any Ben Simmons apologists making excuses. Last night was all you needed to see. And once again, 8 years later, here it is again. The same thing with the 76ers. The same thing. When is it going to take? Me personally, I think it can be fixed. It's simple fixes. It's coaching. And it's getting these guys in that gym and working, perfecting their craft. It's simple fixes, people. It's not hard. Because I personally believe, again, it's all mental with Ben Simmons. I've never seen a guy, taking it back, I have seen guys like that, but I've never seen a guy of his capability, probably the most athletic player on the planet, freeze up like that. I've never seen it. We can point to, play design or whatnot. But at the end of the day, to go from here to here, you have to work on your game. Then it came out, according to, I forgot who it was, where he said, well, he wants to change the shit. He wants to go from his dominant hand, from his left hand to his right hand. What is shooting with one hand, what is that going to do when you cannot shoot the ball? What is that going to do? Learn to shoot the ball. It's not rocket science, people. Ben Simmons, you want to be a good player, and at this level, that's you. But the great players, they see what they got to do in order to be a good player, to be a great player. And Ben Simmons, 5 years later, doesn't get it. To me, he's making his money. He good. You know what? That's the problem with these players. And I'm gonna go there. I will. There's a lot of these players come in these leagues today and act like I ain't gotta work on a damn thing. I know who I am. When you go from high school to college, your game starts at 0. When you go to college to the pros, your game starts at 0. Charles Barkley has always said it. When he came into the league, when he was drafted by the Sixers from out of Auburn, he said Moses Malone told him, because you're fat. He asked Moses Malone one day in practice, why am I not getting any minutes? How come I'm not getting any shine? Moses told him straight up, because you're fat and lazy. He made Chuck lose 50 pounds. You can be this high-flying player coming out of LSU, but when it counts the most, where's the jump shot? He's not a good free throw shooter. DeAndre Jordan, great example. We got on his ass because he couldn't shoot free throws. John Wall, another great example. He's a great athletic point guard, but the biggest thing we criticize is he needs a three-point shot, which he's worked on. Ben Simmons, what is it going to take, bro?
I think that I didn't do well this series.
But do you feel like there's something that is different in the postseason with what makes you
5 years
perceive?
Just look at this body language. I'm not sure y'all see it, but look at this body language.
To be the player that you
look
are,
at it.
Different than in the regular season.
Mask, there's so many different things, and right there, all it needs to tell you, this kid's confidence is shook. And me personally, you trading him out of Philadelphia doesn't do him any justice, and it doesn't do the Sixers any justice. These are things that can be worked with. These are simple fixes. But until Doc Rivers sees it, Alton Brand sees it, Ben Simmons himself, Rich Paul, whoever in Ben Simmons' camp sees it, this is going to be the end of it. This is what Ben Simmons is. This is what he's going to be if he doesn't take the necessary steps to being a great player. It's ridiculous. And the 76ers, once again, they just let you down. They got too much talent. I want to leave this link. I'm going to leave the inside the NBA. I'm going to leave that on. Leave it in the description for y'all to see. But my Lord, 8 years. And we keep saying, trust the process. Trust the process. That's false hope. Last night was a great example of a more false hope. More of it. The 76ers were a disgrace. They were horrible. And they played like they didn't want it. You know what? I've said enough because I'm already pissed. And this is the end of the video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts in it, how y'all feel. Until then, I'm out. It's not hard. Learn to work on your game, dude. Also, I'm probably listening to the last point I want to make. Tobias Harris was paid was paid also too. The way he performed last night, you need to really figure it out as well. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's the system. I don't know what it is. But you know what? These cats needed to get it together. I don't know what the game plan is for the Sixers, but the biggest thing, my number one, is figuring out the rotation around Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons. Those are the three you're building around. I'm not trading Ben because I feel like, again, these are all simple fixes. We've seen Joel grow up. We saw it this year. We can see this. We can do the same thing for Ben. But for people to just go, oh, just trade him, it ain't going to work. You're trading one large contract for what? And then on top of that, which y'all, and again, see, this is why I blame casual fans. Because those that are real, that know basketball, know those things can be worked on. They know that. Real basketball fans know stuff like this with Ben Simmons can be fixed. But the question is, how many years do you give a guy to the point where you say it's enough? Enough's enough. We're now year 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years. More than 5 years. 5. It's a damn disgrace. Have a good evening.